Are you tired of always being in custody? Tired of always being kicked from DSOD lobbies? Wondering why this loadout isn't even working? Well, you guys have came to the right place. Hopefully by the end of the video you're able to complete death sentence 1 down with 0 down. I'm going to be teaching you guys the main tips and tricks for death sentence 1 down, so the next time you play you don't have to be spectating for the rest of the heist. But just before we continue, I need you guys to like and subscribe. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers on this channel. Yes, do it right now. We're not gonna carry on with the video. Like, I'm waiting. You've subscribed now? Perfect. Now let me get rid of this fucking outro music and we can actually get into the first tip of today. I also want to just point out one more thing. What build you're running on death sentence 1 down also plays a major factor on death sentence. So I'm not gonna go over builds. I'm just gonna go over like tips and tricks during the heist on how to like survive longer. So, tip number 1. My first tip is do not rush objective. If you're the last person alive, or if there's just a situation where there's a bunch of cops there and you're just gonna run through all of that, in most case scenarios you will go down. Alaskito is the perfect example. At the start of the heist, if you just run straight to the boat, you will most likely go down. If you're using something like Kingpin, then it's okay, but like any other part deck, you will probably go down. But another thing, I also would recommend doing this on solo with like AIs. Don't play with random people because they are most likely going to affect how the heist plays out, and I would recommend just practicing with AIs. So right now I'm doing the exact same path, but this time I'm going slowly and more like carefully, you know? And you realize that it's taken... Sometimes those spawns are like random, like sometimes you can have like a Julian cop spawning in there, sometimes you can have like 3. But as you can see, I'm not rushing straight into the boat, I'm going like in slowly. I'm clearing out the area first before I go onto the boat, and this is like a perfect example. Now on to the next tip. Okay, this tip is pretty obvious, but I still need to point it out anyways. Make sure to stay in cover before you do anything. The second you get shot, go back into cover. The second you lose health, go back into cover. Like, make sure you use cover 90% of the time, because death sentence is pretty much a one-shot simulator. If you're not using cover, then that's why the reason why the heist is probably failing. You're probably going down a lot. Even the second you lose armor, go back into cover as well. That's actually another helpful tip. And don't push objectives when you need to. Alright, on to my next tip. This is actually an important factor in death sentence. Killing enemies is like key, because if you don't kill enough enemies, you can actually get get overrun by cops basically. You can have a ton of bulldozers, medic dozers charging in at the same time, and it's just too much for you to handle, and then everyone just goes down, and then you have the heist filled on your screen, the host range quits, and you get the idea. So make sure you kill enemies. On to my last tip. What I mean by game sense is like learning the cops' spawns, knowing when to push an objective. It's like basically everything that I've told you today, but like all put together basically. So knowing when to revive someone. Say for like someone died on the middle of the roof on panic room, you don't want to go for that save unless you have Inspire, so you're able to pick them up. Sometimes it's just best leaving someone to die because they just died in a bad spot. Wait, before I end everything off, I forgot to say one more thing. Make sure you start off practicing on the diamond or counterfeit. Hopefully the next time you do death sentence, you're able to do it with 0 downs, and that's all for today. And I will not see you next time. I mean, depending if this does good, I might do a guide in the future explaining how to create like a stoic build, how to create death sentence builds for death sentence, and yeah, that's it.